Hello everyone, welcome to English for You. I'm Mike.
I'm Chickling.
Day 2 of our story Flipped. We're reading a story about Julie and her neighbor Bryce.
Hot-looking neighbor.
Yeah, she had a crush on him for a while, right? When she was little. But their families don't really get along, and Bryce kind of thinks Julie's embarrassing. But they grew up together, right?
Yeah,
and we kind of saw in the first day that several years pass as our story goes along. And when we left them, Julie had just tried to save a local tree from being chopped down. Now, she didn't save the tree, but she did get a lot of attention in the newspaper.
That's good.
And, you know, she kind of showed people that she's brave and she's smart and she's willing to help nature and stuff. We don't know if that changed Bryce's, feelings about her, if he still thinks she's embarrassing, or maybe he's now starting to go, yeah, she's kind of cool.
But at least he has free eggs.
That's true. That's true. And another thing that Julie was doing was raising chickens in her garden for school. Don't ask. And they were giving eggs to, Julie was giving eggs to Bryce's family, the Loskys. And as we get to today's article, it looks like we're going to kind of pick up from there. So, are you in the mood for some free eggs? Well, Julie's got you covered. Let's check it out.
Reading.
Flipped. Julie discovers the Loskys have been throwing out her eggs. They're worried about bacteria from the dirty yard. This makes Julie feel ashamed of her house. She learns she has a mentally disabled uncle, David, who lives in a special facility. Most of her family's money pays for his care, so they can't afford nice things. Julie tends the yard with help from Bryce's grandfather, Chet. The Loskys learn more about the Baker's family troubles. At school, Bryce's friend says something rude about Julie's uncle David. Bryce wants to hit him, but feels pressured into laughing and agreeing. Julie hears Bryce laughing about this and gets angry with Bryce. He, however, starts admiring her spirit and feels awkward and guilty for being a coward. At a school event, two pretty girls win lunch with Bryce, but he can only think of Julie. He apologizes by planting a sycamore tree in her front yard. She decides it's time for her to give Bryce another chance because he's changed for the better.
As we begin today's article, though, it seems that the neighbors were not doing something nice with those free eggs that Julie was giving them so kindly. Julie discovers the Loskys have been throwing out her eggs. Just throwing them in the garbage.
So rude.
We got more free eggs from that Julie girl. Throw them. That's terrible.
Yeah, why would you do that?
Right. They're tasty eggs, I'm sure.
Right? Don't waste food. 不要浪费食物，
Exactly.
对不对？所以 throw something out 就是扔掉、丢弃。所以 Julie 发现 Losky 一家一直都把自己送的蛋丢掉，哎。
I've no idea. Now, we know it's not exactly because the Loskys already have too many eggs. No, they just didn't want Julie's eggs. Why do we know that? Well, because the article says that's the Losky family, they're worried about bacteria from the dirty yard.
Okay.
Julie's house isn't so clean. The yard, the front yard, the backyard, that little area of land in front of the house, not so clean. So the Loskys are afraid about bacteria kind of making the eggs dirty, and if they eat the eggs, they get sick. Don't the Loskys know that eggs have a shell?
Yeah.
Doesn't the shell kind of keep the bacteria? I don't know a lot about eggs, but it seems that having a shell would stop the bacteria from going in your food. Because bacteria are small living things. I think they're actually little animals, but they're very simple little animals. We don't think about them as, something you see in a zoo. We think of bacteria as something you get in your body and then it makes you sick. For example, they use this kind of soap in hospitals because it kills bacteria.
Great.
Yeah, very clean hands.
所以 bacteria 就是细菌，那它的单数是 bacterium. You can't see them, can you?
No.
OK， 所以不同种类的细菌呢，就是 different types of bacteria。所以比如说 hot weather multiplied the bacteria in milk rapidly.
True, yeah.
Yeah, 所以 put your milk in the fridge.
That's right. That's why we have a fridge.
Yeah, 所以他们担心 Julie 家太脏乱了，然后蛋上面有细菌，所以他们就丢掉了。
So maybe one day Julie saw the Loskis throwing the eggs away. She heard them saying, "Oh, we got those eggs. They got bacteria." Anyway, so when she hears this makes Julie, of course, feel really bad about herself and about her family and their home. This makes Julie feel ashamed of her house. Yesterday we learned the word embarrassed. This is quite similar. She's, oh my gosh, I feel so bad. I feel so silly. These people were thinking this all this time and I didn't know and I feel so stupid. Oh, terrible.
She shouldn't be.
She shouldn't.
I think the
Not at all.
Loskis should be.
They should be ashamed. You're right.
Yeah, 所以我们来看一下 ashamed 这个字。Ashamed 就是羞愧的或感到有点羞耻。那其实呢，说一个人对什么感到羞耻，就是 ashamed of something or someone。那如果你看到一个人做了很不好的事情，可能伤害别人呢，你就可以对他说 ，Well, you should be ashamed of yourself。所以因为这样子呢 ，Julie 觉得自己的家让她感到很羞耻，觉得自己的家好脏乱。
All right, and at the same time, or around the same time, that Julie learns about what the Loskis have been doing with her eggs, she also discovers something new. It says she learns she has a mentally disabled uncle, David, who lives in a special facility. Wow, that's really interesting. Also, interesting that she didn't know about him before, maybe because she didn't see him very often, because, well, he's not well. He's sick, I guess we could say. Yeah, he's mentally disabled. Now, when we talk about mental or mentally, these are nouns and adverbs and whatnot, or adjectives, I should say, and adverbs that talk about different parts of the body. This is physical, okay? Your body, your muscles, your heart, your organs, and all that stuff. In your mind, that is mental. So we're not actually talking about your brain. We're talking about what happens in your mind. For example, do you see that man talking to himself? Is he mentally ill or is he just using Bluetooth headphones?
Yeah.
Sometimes you see people and they're just like standing there
right?
talking to themselves. Like, is he a little, oh no, he's just a businessman on a phone call. Okay.
Yeah, 所以 mentally 就是大脑的，老师刚刚讲，或者精神的。所以呢，你如果有智能障碍，就是 mentally disabled。那其实这个字的形容词是 mental，所以就是精神的或心理上。So you can also say mental disorder，代表精神失常。所以比如说 stress can have an effect on both your physical and mental health.
True.
所以呢，这个 uncle 他住在这个 special facility 指的是特定用途的场所。那因为 Julie 有一个智能障碍的叔叔叫 David， 他住在特殊场所。
That's right. All right. So this is something new, something Julie's just learned. It says most of her family's money pays for his care.
No wonder.
So they can't afford nice things. This also explains why her house isn't so nice, why the yard isn't so clean. They don't have the nice things that their neighbors do. Because the family's money, what the mother and father make from working, a lot of that goes to this special center, this special hospital where their Uncle David is. They can't afford nice things. If you can afford something, that basically means you have the money to buy something. You want to buy this? Do you have enough money? Good, you can afford it. Do you want to buy this but you have no money? I'm sorry, you can't afford that. So afford is the ability to pay or to buy something. For example, you want a Ferrari for Christmas? A Ferrari race car? I can't afford that. I can get you a toy.
Okay, a toy,
A toy Ferrari.
I can afford
Okay.
a toy car.
I'll give you that.
Thank you. 所以 afford 就是负担得起，所以 can afford 就是可以嘛，那不行就是 can't afford。所以比如说 few families can afford to live in the capital，就是有一些可能 capital 比较贵，都市首都比较贵，所以可能比较难在那边买房子。好，所以家里的钱呢都拿去负担叔叔的费用了，照护费，所以家里其实都没有钱可以买更好的东西。That's the reason why.
That explains a lot. All right. But at the same time, Julie also kind of makes a new friend from the Loskis family. Now, it's not Bryce, that boy that she had a crush on. It's someone else. Julie tends the yard with help from Bryce's grandfather, Chet.
Oh, okay.
He sounds like a nice guy. He's not kind of looking down on Julie and her family. He's very kind and obviously he's very helpful. He's helping Julie, his neighbor, clean the yard. When you tend to something, basically you're taking care of something. That might involve cleaning it, that might involve keeping it safe, that might involve watching and just making sure it's doing what it should do. But you're kind of on duty, you're supervising, you're there to make sure. For example, will you tend to the pot of soup on the stove while I make a phone call?
Yes, of course.
In other words, watch it, make sure it doesn't boil over or catch on fire or anything. I gotta make a call.
OK， 所以 tend 就是照顾或照料，所以 tend to 就会除了老师刚刚讲的照顾照料，也可以当倾向于。所以比如说 people that are single tend to be more footloose and fancy free. Yeah， 所以文章的意思说 Julie 在 Bryce 的祖父 Chet 的帮助下照料院子。So I believe that Chet doesn't look down upon them.
No, he sounds like a really nice guy. And it also sounds like as Julie and Bryce's grandfather, Chet, spend some time together, Chet finds out about Julie and her family. It says the Loskys learn more about the Bakers' family troubles. So, Chet might ask, where's your family? Oh, I got an Uncle David and he's not well and we have to pay. Oh, and then I guess Chet goes home and explains this to the other people in the Losky family. So now they might be a little ashamed and embarrassed about how badly they treated Julie and the Bakers in the years before.
所以呢 Loskys 他们现在一家进一步了解 Baker 一家的问题了。
But things are definitely changing between the two families. We know that also because next it says at school, Bryce's friend says something rude about Julie's Uncle David. All right, so they're at school one day. Bryce is hanging out with the cool guys, his friends. Yeah, man. And one of the friends says, hey, look, there's Julie with her crazy Uncle David.
所以呢，在学校的时候 Bryce 的朋友都会说 Julie 的坏话。
That's right.
Bullies, I hate bullies.
Well, it would be nice if Bryce stood up and said, hey, man, don't say that about Julie's uncle.
Right?
But actually, he doesn't.
He doesn't?
He wants to, but really he doesn't. When you're with your friends and you don't want to be uncool and you're like, yeah, he's crazy. But you're really like, I shouldn't be saying this. This is bad.
Pressure.
Exactly, peer pressure. Bryce wants to hit him, this friend who's saying the bad stuff, but feels pressured into, yeah, he's crazy. I hate that guy. Yeah. Oh, Bryce.
Don't
he had
do
a chance.
That. Why? Yeah.
He had a chance to do something good, but you're right, peer pressure, he got scared.
Oh, that's so bad. 所以 Bryce 他想要揍他的朋友，但是他就是被迫跟着笑，跟着认同。
Right. Now, Julie, she's nearby when this happens, and of course, she can't read Bryce's mind and see that he's not comfortable. He's laughing just because he wants to be friendly. No, she doesn't know that. Julie hears Bryce laughing about this and gets angry with Bryce. She thinks he is teasing and picking on and bullying her uncle, just like all the other guys are. Of course she does, because she sees him laughing.
That's so bad.
Yeah.
所以 Julie 就生气了，因为她听到 Bryce 居然在笑自己的家人。
But Bryce, it seems this has really affected him. This has really made him think carefully about himself. He, that's Bryce, however, starts admiring her spirit and feels awkward and guilty for being a coward. And so you should, Bryce. But he's starting to come around. He's starting to think, wow, she's really brave and she's tough and she's got all these troubles, but she's always friendly and I like her.
What?
I don't know, maybe, but he is starting to be upset with himself.
Okay, it's good that it's reflecting on himself.
Exactly,
like
that's right. He feels awkward and guilty, especially when he's around Julie. So let's check out this new word, awkward. All right, so yes, right here, Bryce starts to feel a little bit strange and a little bit embarrassed. Maybe not quite embarrassed or ashamed, but as we read there, he feels awkward. When you feel awkward, you've done something kind of uncomfortable, kind of embarrassing. You said the wrong thing. You made a person feel, like you don't really understand them very well. Imagine you're with your friend and you haven't seen them in a while and you say, hey, how's your boyfriend? How's your girlfriend? And they say, I told you we broke up 2 months ago. And you're like, oh, yeah. I said something really silly. I looked really silly. You feel embarrassed. I feel embarrassed. This whole thing is very awkward. It's not going the way it should. It's not going the way that keeps everyone happy. It's gone off into a strange place where it's very, very, very awkward. I'm just going to go now. For example, Phyllis was so excited to meet the Queen that she did something really awkward. She tried to hug her. You don't hug the Queen of England. It's one of the main rules. So it would be very awkward if you did that because the Queen would be like, ah, and you'd be like, ah, and then it would be very strange.
Awkward 老师刚刚有说不要抱英国女皇会有点 awkward 或者是
don't do that.
like do you have like friends that ask awkward questions all the time?
Sometimes or sometimes it's me.
Oh, really? No,
Sure.
You don't.
Sometimes.
Well, at least for me, like
everyone gets awkward sometimes.
Yeah, that is
you
true.
know.
所以呢，我们可以说 the singer managed to fend off all the awkward questions coming from the reporters. Good job.
Okay, like are you dating Rihanna?
Yeah,
Or something like that. Of course,
yeah.
sometimes you don't want to answer and things get awkward.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it does happen.
或者是 guilty， 让我们刚刚在文章里面看到说，这一个 Bryce 觉得他有点罪恶感跟愧疚，他觉得自己是一个 coward， 就是一个懦夫。所以如果你是懦夫的话，你很胆小的，你很懦夫的，你就可以说是 cowardly。比如说 he was too cowardly to complain。所以呢 ，Bryce 就开始欣赏 Julie 的精神，认为自己是个懦夫，然后感到非常的羞愧。
All right, so things are moving along, and I guess a few more days pass or some time passes, and then the next big thing that happens in our story, at a school event, two pretty girls win lunch with Bryce, but he can only think of Julie. His precious, beautiful Julie. Aww. All right, so this is probably also kind of awkward because there's these two girls at school. I guess they had some kind of lucky draw. Maybe you buy a ticket, they give the ticket to, a hospital or whatever. And the prize for one of these things is win lunch with the coolest, most handsome guy, the captain of the basketball team. Everybody loves Bryce. So he's there at dinner with these two girls who might like him, but he's only thinking about having lunch with Julie.
Wow.
He likes
That's
Julie.
amazing.
He likes her.
所以在某一个学校的活动呢，两位很漂亮的女孩跟 Bryce 共进午餐。But all Bryce can think about is the cute little Julie.
The freckles and the way she smiles when she's happy and the way she eats her ice cream.
Wow.
Oh, she's so cute. Anyways, let's get back to the story. So it seems Bryce is really starting to get some big feelings. Like he's kind of got a crush on Julie like she did all those years ago. But he knows that maybe she doesn't like him so much. There's been a lot of bad stuff kind of between her and him over the years, so he wants to make things better. What does he do? He apologizes by planting a sycamore tree in her front yard.
Wow.
Wow, Bryce, really going for it. Normally I would give a girl flowers. Yeah. He gives a girl a tree. Yeah. That's interesting. I'd like to see him bring it from the store. I got you a tree. Anyways, but he decides this is the best way to apologize. When you apologize, you say sorry. You did something wrong. What you're saying, that is your apology. When you are saying sorry, you are apologizing. For example, I think you should apologize for pushing into the line.
I'm sorry.
I saw you. You just walked right in front of that old man.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I was in a rush.
I accept your apology.
Yeah, 所以 apologize 就是道歉。所以为了什么道歉，我们加一个 for。比如说 I apologize for any inconvenience caused by my personal issues.
对不起。
Oh wow, that sounds great. Say apology.
I say it a lot.
老师中文很好。
I say it a lot.
Apology 你也可以说名词，所以 I owe you an apology, Mike.
Oh,
I'm so sorry for.
What did you do?
For being so cute.
Oh, you don't have to apologize for that.
或者是 what you said to him was hurtful. You really owe him an apology.
In that case, you should apologize if you say something mean or hurtful, yes.
Yeah, 所以为了道歉呢，他就种了一棵树在 Julie 的前院，好可爱哦。
Now, this is a pretty special thing, right? When was the last time a boy or a girl or someone bought you a tree? It's never happened to me. So if someone did buy you a tree, especially a tree you loved, you would think, well, that was really nice. And so it seems to have worked with Julie. That's Julie, decides it's time for her to give Bryce another chance because he's changed for the better. She sees that, he's really grown. He's realized he wasn't a nice guy before. He's trying to apologize. It was a really sweet thing to buy her a tree. So she's starting to think, maybe I should give him a second chance.
It's time to do something 也是今天的文法，我们再来看一下。Alright, 所以呢，这边指的就是 it's time to do something or it's time for someone to do something 指的是到什么时间应该做什么事情了。比如说 it's almost 12 p.m. so it's time for me to get ready for lunch. 那我们其实也可以直接把 for me to do something 直接改成直接加一个名词就好。比如说 it is time for us to have dinner. You can also say it is time for dinner. 所以 Julie 呢决定呢再给 Bryce 一次机会，因为她觉得 Bryce 已经 changed for the better.
Yeah, he does seem like he's trying to change.
Yeah.
And it seems like Julie is trying to forgive him, so maybe they're gonna be better friends in the future.
I hope.
We certainly hope so. But that's all for the future because right now we have our chat question. So let's go have a chat question.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do that.
You chat.
All right, so our chat question is about apologizing, saying sorry for something you did. You feel bad, the person feels hurt, upset, angry, sad, and you want to try to make it better. So what are some ways you can apologize to someone effectively in a way that works and you can't say buy them a tree? That's not a good answer.
Well, I think the best
Yes.
the best way to make them feel that you are really feeling sorry is to be sincere.
To be honest.
Yeah, to be honest, or you
Right.
tell them why you did that
Yes.
and that you're really feeling so sorry, you
Yes.
regret doing so.
Yes.
I think they will understand.
Sure, you should acknowledge your mistake. Say, I know I did this. I know that hurt your feelings, so it shows you understand why they're upset. Look them in the eye. Don't do it by text or phone.
Yeah.
Do it face to face. And here's an important one. Never, ever, ever use the word but in your apology. I'm really, really sorry, but it's kind of your fault. Or but it's not really my... No. Don't do that. Now is the time just to be as nice as you can and to be as honest as you can. And don't try to make excuses. Don't try to say, yeah, but it was not really my fault. No.
Yeah.
It's a really good apology if you really mean it and you really show that it is your fault. And also, you plan to change. You're going to learn from this and do things different in the future. Because everyone makes mistakes, but we don't have to repeat the mistakes. If you apologize, make sure it's true and honest and you mean it. Thanks for joining us, guys. We're true and honest when we say we enjoy having you with us, and we mean it when we say we hope to see you tomorrow, right?
Oh, so come back.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
Yeah, bye.
Bye, come back.
Buy me a tree.
Vocabulary Review. Bacteria. Before you eat, you should wash your hands with soap to kill the bacteria. Mentally. In addition to training their bodies, athletes must be mentally trained so their minds are prepared to compete. Afford. Ian considered moving after getting his new job. With more money, he could afford a nicer place. Tend. If you can tend the baby, I'll go ahead and start cooking dinner. Awkward. Fred asked Betty on a date, but she said no. Their conversations have been awkward since then. Apologize. Winnie apologized to Bill for saying some mean things, but Bill didn't forgive her.
智慧小补帖
Ashamed. Facility. Guilty. Coward.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net